Hello students, we'll start with session 9 of the paper Enzymology and Cellular Metabolism, and this video deals with biotechnological applications of enzymes. So we'll study the biotechnological applications one by one. Biotechnological applications of enzymes, it has a role in bioinformatics. That means the enzymes which are isolated and purified can be applied for the study of bioinformatics. Bioinformatics is a branch of science where it deals with the study of computerized the models of these proteins, DNA and proteins, DNA. It is a computational biology. Okay, it gives the information on the functional aspects of the protein. Okay, then you can apply the enzymes for the study of the proteomics and genomics. Genomics, it is the study of whole genome of an organism, and the proteomics, it deals with the study of proteins. Biotechnological application of enzymes can be applied in plant agriculture and crop improvement, and in recombinant DNA technology, healthcare and pharmaceuticals, in medical diagnosis, in fermentation technology, and in improvement of the food technology, environment, energy management. Okay, and also the enzymes can be used in animal breeding and also in agriculture. Okay, we'll study the first one, the enzymes used in food industries. In food industry, first one, dairy production. In dairy industry, the use of enzymes rennet, lactase, protease and catalase. So lactase is a commercial name of the enzyme renin, where it is a proteolytic enzyme used for coagulation of milk. Lactase, it is used in ice cream industry. Protease, you know that protease, it degrades the large polypeptide chains to smaller ones, and it has a role in like textile industry. You have it has a role in different the different where the protein degradation takes needs. Catalase, it where degradation, that is the breakdown of H2O2 to a simpler compound about water and oxygen. Okay, it is used in the industries where where there is a production of H2O2, where it is very toxic, it can be degraded into the less toxic compound. So in brewing industry, in brewing, so these are the enzymes applied, that is beta glucanase, alpha amylase, again protease, amyloglucosidase. These are the enzymes used in brewing. In baking industry, in the bakery products, maltogenic amylase, glucose oxidase and pentosinase. These are the enzymes which are used in that is baking industry. And in fermentation or wine, in the production of fruit juice, pectinase and beta glucanase are used, okay, which degrades pectin. In the meat industry, where protease and another proteolytic enzyme, pepin, is used. The first one, the rennet. All cheese manufacture depends upon the formation of curd by the action of rennet or similar enzymes, except in cottage cheeses. Okay, cottage is a small at home what we prepare. Okay, in the large industrial setup, we need an enzyme called rennet. So before it was produced from the E. coli cell, now it is obtained from E. coli cell by DNA recombinant technology. So this renin enzyme was obtained from slaughtering the animals like pigs and cows. Okay, so that too they are used to obtain nanograms, but because of the advent of this DNA recombinant technology, we are obtaining this rennet from E. coli cells. Coagulation of casein. Casein is a milk protein, is a fundamental process in cheese making. It is generally done with rennet, but other proteolytic enzymes can also be used, but it is a chief enzyme which is used in the coagulation of milk. The active principle in rennet is an enzyme called chymosin, and the coagulation takes place shortly after rennet is added to the milk. The next one is lactase enzyme. It is present in the border of small intestine. It is artificially extracted from yeast and required for the digestion of whole milk. Used in the production of lactose-free milk, and is also used in the production of ice cream and sweeten the flavor and condensed milk, because the lactase, it acts as lactose and you will get a monosaccharides which increases the sweetness and the flavor in ice creams and also in condensed milk. In the textile industry, the biological washing powders, they contain large amount of hydrolyzing enzyme. The common enzymes found in such washing powders are amylases, which break starch grains, and cellulase break down the ends of the damaged cotton fibers and removes the fuzz produced during washing. And the lipase enzyme is used to break the lipid stains into fatty acids and glycerol. And proteases break down the protein stains in the food stain. So these enzymes, they are also used in these detergents because they remove the stains in the biological washing powders and also in the textile industry. So in the biological washing powders, we can see the presence of enzymes in the biological washing powders increase the efficiency of washing powder in removing the stain from clothes, because the stains may be protein or fat which are not removable from the detergent only, but they need the enzymes where they act on this stains which may be in the form of lipids or proteins. And the presence of lipase breaks down the fat stain into fatty acids and glycerol. The presence of protease breaks down the protein stain into amino acids. The fatty acids, glycerol and amino acids are soluble in water and thus easily it can be washed off. See, these are the biological washing powders which contain the enzymes. Usually they are very costly compared to the chemical detergents. And you have enzyme based detergents. They are preferred because to counter these limitations, enzyme based detergents are fast emerging as an alternative to synthetic detergents owing to their biodegradability, low toxicity and non-corrosiveness, the hands, okay, and the environmental friendliness, enhanced cleaning properties and the increased efficiency and stability in different formulations. They are therefore also being referred as a green chemicals. So this is one such plant-based laundry detergent which I have shown here. Okay, they are taking the they are emerging fastly. They are emerging because of their significance. The application of enzymes in baking industry. In baking industry, enzymes are usually added to modify the dough rheology. Dough means the smoothness what you observe in the like bread or in bakery items. The gas retention, the gas here it is a carbon dioxide, and the crumb softness in the bread manufacture to modify the rheology. In the manufacture of pastry and biscuits, to change the product softness in cake making and to reduce the acrylamide formation in bakery products. See, this is the application of enzymes in the different aspects as I shown you here. It is in the bakery industry, brewing industry, laundry detergents I have explained earlier, in the textile industry, sugar industry and also in the paper industry. In leather industry also the enzymes are applied. In the fermentation technology, the fermentation is an ancient technique in preserving food. The process is still used today to produce the foods like wine, cheese, sauerkraut, yogurt and kombucha. See, these are the Korean fermented food products. Okay, and the process of fermentation in wine making, where it turns the grape juice into alcoholic beverages. If you use the white grapes as a source, you will end up with the white wines, and if you use the grapes, that is the black grapes, you will end up with the red wines. Okay, the process is that the grapes are crushed and it is macerated and is allowed for fermentation for 20 to 25 days. So after that you can obtain the alcohol after fermentation by filtration. Then it is pasteurized and aging is done. Okay, so this is again after that fermentation, it can be clarified, matured, it is stabilized and filtered and it is bottled for commercial purpose. This is also a biotechnological application of, here the enzymes are present in the yeast cells which does the function of that is fermentation. That's alcoholic fermentation, where in the anaerobic condition the glucose is converted into alcohol. So enzymes are also used in recombinant DNA technology. In the recombinant DNA technology, enzymes are, these are the different enzymes which are involved. Restriction endonuclease, as you know that they will cut the DNA at the specific site. Okay, so alkaline phosphatase, they will remove the phosphate group at the terminals. Reverse transcriptase, where that is from RNA to DNA, where synthesis of RNA to DNA, it is done by reverse transcriptase. Restriction exonuclease, they will cleave the DNA at the terminals. Polynucleotide kinase, they add the phosphate groups at the terminals. The ligase, it is done the function of joining the two, that is nucleotide sequences, and ribonuclease H, which remove the RNA in DNA RNA hybrid, and terminal nucleotidal transferase, where it transfers the nucleotides to the terminals. DNA polymerase, it adds up the nucleotides to lengthen the chain, or it adds up during the synthesis of the DNA. Replication, okay, methyl transferase, it has a role in the transfer of methyl group. So these are the enzymes involved in recombinant DNA technology, where the gene is transferred from one organism to the other, beyond that the species specific. Okay, this is one example where you can see where human gene is transferred to a E. coli cell. The gene, the first step is isolation of the gene, then it is cleaved at a specific site. Then it is ligated to a vector. The vector is transferred to host cell. Okay, the host cells are multiplied, where it thinks that gene is itself its own, and the more number of the same gene, the gene products are synthesized in the host cell. So after that, they are isolated. See here, this is the human cell, bacterial cell. The plasmid isolated from the bacteria. The gene is ligated to a bacterial plasmid. Then this is called the recombinant DNA, where the DNA is transferred to the plasmid, then they are transferred into E. coli cell. Then these cells are multiplied, so allow them to grow in the laboratory condition. So you will end up with large number of the gene products that can be easily isolated. So it is here the example is given for a gene for human growth, that is somatostatin. The gene of this human growth hormone, it is human growth hormone, it is ligated to a vector, and it is inserted to the E. coli cell. The function of these enzymes have listed here. Restriction endonuclease cleaves the DNA at specific sequences. DNA ligase joins the two DNA molecules. DNA polymerase 1 adds the nucleotide at 3' end and duplex of DNA molecule for filling up the gaps. And reverse transcriptase make the DNA copy from an RNA molecule. Polynucleotide kinase adds the phosphate group at the end of polynucleotide, and terminal transferase adds homopolymer tails at 3 OH ends of the linear duplex. Exonuclease removes the nucleotide from the 3' end of the DNA molecule. Bacteriophage exonuclease removes the nucleotide from 5' ends to the duplex to expose the single stranded 3' ends, and alkaline phosphatase removes the terminal phosphate from either 5' or 3' end or both. Applications of enzymes in bioremediation. So bioremediation, it refers to biochemical reactions of natural attenuation, which includes all biotic and abiotic process used to reduce the contaminant levels. This process is called bioremediation. If you use the microorganisms or living organisms, we call it as bioremediation. So biodegradation is the primary mechanism to reduce the biodegradable contaminants by employing organisms like bacteria, fungi, algae and plants. So here this is the pollution or contaminants that can be removed by all this. The plants, trees, fungi, use of bacteria. So it will end up with a green earth. So that process is called bioremediation. So in bioremediation you have a different types like microbial bioremediation. Bioremediation can occur either naturally or by the use of bioaugmentation or whole cell introduction, or biostimulation approaches the use of nutrients or conditions to stimulate the native microbial community. And enzymatic bioremediation, isolated enzymes may also be used to transform the contaminant into less toxic and non-toxic compounds. And extracellular enzymes can either secreted from organisms such as white rot fungi or produced during the fermentation process. And phytoremediation, It is in the in situ use of plants and their enzymatic systems and their roots associated microorganisms to degrade the harmful pollutants present in different environment systems. Okay, so this is about the use of enzymes in bioremediation. And another field is application of enzymes in biosensors. So biosensor, it is a combination of a living organism and the electronics. So where the reaction of the biological agent by sensing the analyte. Okay, so they are monitored by using the detectors or small electronic device. So they are applied in food industry, but are also used in the food industry. They are used for to monitor the freshness of the food, in drug discovery and evaluation of biological activity of new compounds. Potentiometric biosensors are intended to primarily for monitoring the levels of carbon dioxide, ammonia and other gases dissolved in the blood and other liquids. And the environmental applications, example, detection of pesticides and river water contaminants, also done by these biosensors. This is a schematic representation of a biosensor, which is a target molecule, and this is a cell or an enzyme. Okay, it is a bioreceptor. So because of this target molecule and the bioreceptor, there is a specific reaction which takes place. That reaction is sensed. That is, the reaction is sensed, and any byproducts, they are transduced the information and they are sent to the data processing and the output display. So here the bioreceptor, it may be oligonucleotides, antibodies, enzymes, okay, cell surface or phages, and optical, the transducer, it may be optical, electrochemical or mechanical, and data processing, it may be by the UV spectrophotometer or magnetic resonance or spectra, that is magnetic resonance imaging. Any of these techniques can be employed to sense the target. Okay, so it may be heavy metals or it may be any other contaminant that will be sensed by this bioreceptors. So output display can be visualized depending upon the concentration of the target here. So application of biosensors, they are used in different fields, in the environmental monitoring, soil quality monitoring, food quality monitoring, pathogen discovery, drug discovery, toxin detection and water monitoring. What is bioinformatics? It is a comparison of genome to other, where the bioinformatics, it deals with the genomics, transcriptomics, proteomics and metabolomics. So genomics deals with DNA, transcriptomics deals with RNA, proteomics, protein, metabolomics, that is deals with metabolite. So the functional genomics, it is RNA to protein. The translation process, we call it as the functional gene. That means the gene which ends up with a functional protein, that process we call it as the functional genomics, that can be studied in bioinformatics. Okay, the enzymes are also applied in animal cell culture technology. See here, the cells can be removed, the tissue can be removed from an organism. So it can be compared with the mice, okay, mammal cell also. So it is disintegrated, it is chopped, and this digested cells which can be grown in the in vitro condition. So here we need, for this disintegration process, we need an enzyme to dissociate the cells, that proteolytic enzymes, that is trypsin or collagenase. The collagenase which degrades the collagen, trypsin, it is a proteolytic enzyme which degrades the proteins. See, enzymatic dissociation in animal cell culture, it is done by the enzyme. So it speeds up the process by adding or digesting the protein. The enzymes such as trypsin, collagenase, to the tissue fragments to dissolve the cement holding the cell. That is, the collagen which acts as a cementing material in between the cells is dissolved by this proteolytic enzyme, maybe collagenase or trypsin. This creates a suspension of single cells that are placed in the culture vessels containing the culture media and allow to growing device. So here, like this, you can get a homogeneous kind of cell lines. In the plant tissue culture also, you can use the enzymes to obtain the protoplast. Protoplasts are the cells without cell wall. So after selection of this explant, the leaves are the explant here, which I shown here. The leaf sterilization, it removes the epidermis and the cells are plasmolized. Okay, then the protoplast is released. The plasmolized cells, when they are treated with pectinase or cellulase, will get a protoplast. This isolated protoplast further inoculated get a plants. Okay, the plasmolized cells you can incubate with pectinase or cellulose or pectinase, release of isolated cells. This isolated protoplast can use for in a tissue culture laboratory to get the platelets. This protoplast isolation, they are after protoplast isolation, so you can fuse the protoplast to get a that is with high yielding variety which are useful to the mankind. In the food industry, the enzymes lipase, lysozymes, galactosidase, lactase, lactoperoxidase, and acid proteinases and neutral proteinases and peptidases, they are all used in the food industry, mainly for cheese manufacturing, breakdown of lactose to glucose and galactose in milk processing to avoid the lactose intolerance. Lactoperoxidase in cold sterilization of milk and milk replaces for cows, and the milk coagulation acid proteases are used. And these neutral proteinases, they are used in the accelerated cheese ripening and debittering of enzyme modified cheese and production of that is less allergenic milk based products. So like in baking industry, alpha amylase, xylinases, oxidoreductase, lipase proteins, they are used in giving an increased gluten strength and improving the stability of gas cells in the dough. And proteases, they are used in the reduction of protein in flour. And amylases, as we knew, the degrading the starch into flour and controlling the volume of crumb structure of bread. So these are all the enzymes used in different industries. Amylase used in the desizing of fibers. Cellulase and hemicellulose, they are used in biostoning of genes, desizing of this cellulose fibers and stylish effect of fibers. Pectinase, scoring of vegetables as well as vast fibers, example cotton and jute. Proteases, they are used in that is resizing of animal fibers, degamming the silk and modification of wool properties. Lipases, they are used in the elimination of fat in excess. The same thing I have given in the form of table. So all the enzymes, the biotechnological application of the enzymes, they are used in agriculture field, food industry, chemical industry, electronics, energy, environmental field, pharmaceutical, and also in the material industry such as leather and paper textile industry. Okay, this is all these applications I had shown you in the previous slide. Okay, so we'll just watch a video on this before I finish my lecture. We'll just watch a video on this. Okay, about the industrial application of enzymes.
Enzymes are biological catalysts which help speed up chemical reactions without getting consumed in the reaction itself. They break down, build up, or convert substrates into new products. Some enzymes present in living organisms include amylase, protease, lipase, and catalase. When it comes to industry, the uses and roles of enzymes vary widely. Some processes aided by enzyme include tanning leather, extracting juice from fruits, making cheese, baking bread, brewing and distilling beer, and much more. The processes are sped up since enzymes are catalysts of chemical reactions. They won't usually require very high temperatures to operate. This saves fuel. Enzymes help in the germination of seeds. These enzymes become active when more water is present in the seeds. Different enzymes create different products, which help the seeds grow and store energy. Amylase breaks down starch into maltose, which provides energy for growth and construction of cell walls. Protease breaks down proteins into amino acids, which make protein for the construction of new cells. Lipase breaks down oils into fatty acids and glycerol to provide energy for the growing plant. Beer is an alcoholic beverage which needs enzymes in its production. Barley seeds are harvested and then allowed to germinate in warm, moist conditions. The amylase enzymes in the barley seeds activate in such conditions, then convert the stored starch in the seeds into a sugar, maltose. Maltose is used by the yeast in fermentation to produce alcohol in beer. Maltose is used by the yeast in fermentation to produce alcohol in beer. A different process is used to harvest oils from certain plants, such as sunflowers or olives. Oils are stored in the plant seeds for energy, and lipase is present, which would break down these oils into a different product when it is time for the seed to germinate. Thus, sunflower or olive seeds should not be made to germinate if their oils are to be extracted. Pectinase is used to speed up the extraction of juice from fruits. Pectinase is an enzyme which breaks down pectin and plant cell walls, which are molecules that hold plant cell walls together. Pectin is sold commercially as a light brown powder from citrus fruits. This can then be used to make jams and juice. In industrial terms, fermentation is any process that uses microorganisms to produce a beneficial product or facilitate a useful process. Large stainless steel tanks called industrial fermenters, such as those used for the production of beer, cheese, and antibiotics, provide and maintain conditions fit for the growth and metabolism of microorganisms like bacteria and fungi, which serve as the sources of enzymes. These microorganisms produce enzymes outside of cells to break down substrates such as complex carbohydrates, proteins, and fats, and then digest them. Penicillin is an antibiotic which uses fermentation in order to be produced. It comes from the fungus Penicillium. A scientist named Alexander Fleming discovered its use as an antibiotic in 1928 when he noticed by accident that the fungus was growing on his agar plates, killing off the bacteria around it. Today, penicillin is made in large quantities using industrial fermentation. The fungus Penicillium is put in industrial fermenters. Nutrients such as sugars and ammonium salts are placed in the fermentation vessels along with the fungus. The fungus uses these nutrients to make proteins and nucleic acids. Biological washing powders undergo a similar fermentation process as the production of penicillin. The enzymes released by microorganisms, such as Bacillus bacteria and Aspergillus fungi, are collected from the fermenter through extraction, then used for biological powders and sold commercially to clean clothing. Enzymes break down substrates found in typical stains. Protease breaks down proteins found in blood, grass, and egg. Lipase breaks down fat found in grease stains such as in butter, lipstick, and mayonnaise. Amylase breaks down starch found in food stains. And cellulase breaks down cellulose fibers on cotton textiles to remove attached dirt. In addition, the enzymes in biological powders are modified to let people wash their clothes in low wash temperatures and in alkaline conditions. Newer innovations allow clothes to be washed in temperatures as low as 15 degrees Celsius. These lower temperatures require less energy to operate washing machines. Also, the enzymes and their byproducts do not harm the environment or living organisms, unlike other detergents. These are just a few pros in the long list of advantages that enzymes bring to humans.
Okay, this is about the biotechnological applications of enzymes. So, thank you for watching. Keep watching. Thank you.